Next, we have Michael Lavender, City and County Commissioner, who's up for re-election this year for his seat.
Thank you, Mr. Epler. And coming with me is Richard Faulkner. Richard has an announcement. Before he does, though, I wanted to make an announcement. Most of you, unless you've been hearing the rumor mill that's going around, are probably expecting me to announce that I'm filing for re-election as a county commission candidate this year. But I wanted to make it public tonight, fellow Republicans and friends, that it's with pleasure that I announce my candidacy for the 47th District for the North Carolina Senate. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Richard, who wants to make an announcement also.
Well, thank you. The congressman, when he came in a while ago, spoke to Pat and said, "Can't you keep him under control?" And the answer is no. Probably not. But Pat, would you stand up just for a second? This is my wife, Pat. We are very supportive of this candidacy, and we think it's the right candidacy for this Senate district. And we would like, well, two things. Are you going to mention that other thing when you make your remarks? But anyway, I'm about through. But Pat and I would like to make a contribution to your campaign, and I hope you'll accept this check for $500 to get things going.
Awesome. Thank you. That's very nice.
Okay.
I knew you were going to do something, but I didn't know it was going to be that outstanding. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat and Richard. I knew Pat and Richard were also going to have a fundraiser for me later this month, and kind of a reception at their home, and I appreciate their support. I'll try to be brief, but I did want to mention a few things to you about why I'm planning to run for this seat this year. Chet told me I had to be brief because I didn't want to tussle with Joe back there, but I wanted you to know at least one of the major issues that you'll be hearing about in the coming weeks as to why I wanted to run for this seat. That one particular being issues in education. It's something near and dear to my heart, not only because I'm a community college employee, not only because I have two children in the public education system, but because I think it is the future of our state. I think if we fail to educate our children, if we fail to train them for the jobs of today and tomorrow, if we fail to do that, our economy will suffer and our future will suffer. I'll start by asking you if you know what, if the number 5,307.7 means anything to any of you. Does that number mean anything to any of you? It should mean something to at least one or two people in this room, but I'll go ahead to keep things rolling and say to you that in 2009 was the per pupil expenditure in the state of North Carolina for public education. The per pupil expenditure in the state for public education 5 years ago. In 2013, that number was 5,399.64. That's $304.06 less per student. Again, $304.06 less per student than it was 5 years ago. And that doesn't even account for inflation, nor does it account for the reversions that are often asked for. Now, you will likely hear over the next few weeks as this campaign begins from my competitor that a lot of sidestepping and a lot of statistical maneuvering where there'll be discussions about continuation budgets and baseline budgets and the difference between appropriation and expenditures. But that, my friends, is something you need to come back to. How much was spent on my child or my grandchild or your grandchild? Now, to be sure, you can't just throw money at education. There has to be some accountability. I know that. But at the same time, we can't expect our teachers to work miracles when they don't have enough textbooks in the classroom. Right here in this district, there are examples that I could give you, and I won't give them all. But right here in this county, for example, there's a high school math class, advanced math class, where the students can't take home a textbook to do their math homework because there aren't enough textbooks to go around. Teachers are having to make choices like that. I know that times are tough. I know that the economy is rough. We didn't ask to be thrust into this situation. The economy has thrust it on us. However, tough times call for tough decisions, and I want you to know that if you elect me to be your next senator, I will make a different choice. We have seen from this legislature a kind of villainization of our teachers. There have been cuts in teacher assistants. There have been cuts in there have been removal of class size caps, taking away incentives for advanced degrees and other such things that really surprised me, and it has moved me, among other things, to take this step. There are things that I would like to see done at the county commission level, and I struggled for weeks with this decision, talked with my family. We've talked a lot about it, and only in the last few days have I made my final decision. But I'm at peace with it. I know it's an uphill battle. I know that numerically, our sitting senator has an advantage. He was at the table when the redistricting was done, and Mitchell County has an incredible advantage because they all come out in the primary. If you look at the numbers, there's an incredible advantage. For that reason, I will ask for your support, and I will tell you how I feel about a number of positions over the coming weeks, about all kinds of things, and I hope you will ask our sitting senator for those. I've scoured the web, but other than his votes on selected issues, I can't find his position on a number of issues. And I'm pretty good at Google, I'm pretty good at Yahoo, and I can't find those. I will tell you that people have told me that there will be an attempt to try to divert attention from education and other issues with moral issues and gun control and those kind of things. But I can look across this room and tell you that if I were to ask for a show of hands, in fact I may do that. Is there anybody in this room that thinks we were to take away people's rights to guns? Is there anybody in that category? Would you raise your hand? I'm not raising mine either. If you want to keep your guns, keep them. I feel the same way. So if you hear people trying to make that argument, don't believe it. I feel the same way. You know, if people talk about pro-life and try to suggest that I'm too liberal, that I'm not pro-life, it's not true. I am pro-life. In fact, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Justin and Shayla. Sorry. No. Being pro-life is not just about protecting the unborn. It's about protecting those after they're born. I was first Justin and Shayla's foster parent. Later, their adopted parent. When you hear people say that I'm not pro-life, I want you to point to those two beautiful children and tell them they're wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. But I want you to know, this is not a race about all of those moral issues. It's not a race about gun control. There will be things that separate us, issues that separate us. Education will be prominent. You will hear others as the race goes on. But I ask you not to be deceived into believing those issues that say that I'm liberal on this and I'm not pro-life and I'm not other things. I ask for your vote and I ask for your support, and I especially thank my friends Richard and Pat for their commitment up front, and thank you for your support over the years as county commissioner. And Mr. Chairman, I apologize that I took so long and that I got emotional. Thank you.